This content is brought to you by the Layers and Legends Kickstarter, coming in early 2022. Are you a dungeon master looking to reduce your prep time but still run awesome games for your players? Would you like professional pre-made 5th edition adventures, maps, traps, puzzles, magic items, and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? The Layers and Legends Kickstarter will create 2 gorgeous hardcover books for dungeon masters containing all of this and more. The first book, Layers and Legends, will deliver 25 5th edition compatible adventures spanning levels 1 to 15 and over 100 new terrifying monsters to pit against your players. The second book, Loot and Lore, will deliver 50 magic items, 25 puzzles, 40 traps, 10 factions, 30 standalone encounters with maps, 30 villains, 30 NPCs, 70 random tables, 30 adventure ideas, 20 spells, and 4 subclasses. And through the beauty of Kickstarter and stretch goals, we'll be able to commission beautiful artwork for both books and add even more content. Furthermore, in addition to the hardcovers, you can also get both books in PDF format and a digital map pack containing all the maps from both books. And if you'd like to pick up a hardcover copy of our last Kickstarter, Into the Fae, it will be available as an add-on to Layers and Legends. Click the link below to join the Layers and Legends email list and get notified.
Oh. I know that Ed is not here tonight. He had something very important to do. He couldn't make it. But Ed, if you're watching this afterwards, I want you to know that little guy is throwing a fit right now. He's at the window crying and screaming, and you need to come get him like right away, because I am not gonna be able to hold it together tonight if he keeps yapping his little mouth. Just want you to know, Ed. Donna Cook, hello. How are you doing? Gaming Booger, good to see you again. Potato. Ooh. Well, you know what you can do with potatoes? You can make French fries out of potatoes. Dan Bayer, hello. Dan Bayer knows how to cook potatoes. Little guy, you need to shut your hole. Yeah, you, I'm talking to you. Look at him, he looked at me, he knew I was talking to him. This guy won't shut up. Yeah, Dan Bayer knows how to make potatoes. You cut them into little pieces and you put them in the deep fryer and you make French fries. Yeah. Brian Reynolds, hello. Ben Tolman, what up? Goliath Cleric, Penguin Butt, good to see you guys. Jack Good, what up? The New Bad Hombre, hello. Master Brewer, yo. Are you feeling any better? Also, what's the timer at? I am not. I'm feeling better, yes. Now I'm congested. Congested. Like my stuffy nose and stuff. And so my voice might sound a little weird. And my throat sometimes hurts. Definitely better than last week. There were a couple days last week that I was messed up, but now I feel a tiny bit better and stuff. Oh man. Michelle? I think that's how you say your name. What up, dude? I know you gave me a phonetical explanation once, and I have a bad memory. You're having gumbo tonight? I don't know what gumbo is, Mr. Gaming Booger, but it sounds like a Forrest Gump thing. I'm sure it's delicious. Heather Burke, hello. What's going on? How you doing? Nixit, yo. Amber, hello. Ala La Pala, what up? Allergies are the worst. Last weekend was rough. Oh, you have allergies? That sucks. I don't have allergies. I was sick last week with something, and now it's just carrying over. Did you get the unspecified virus of unknown origin? I did. Yeah, my wife got it first, and we went to the clinic, and they did like all the tests, and they're like, it's not COVID, and it's not the flu. It's just a virus. And I was like, okay, that's great. And they're like, you need to get plenty of rest and drink fluids. Cool. And then pay our bill. Okay, thank you. But my wife got a note for her job and didn't have to go to work for a week. She was happy about that. It's like, here's $100. Please let my wife stay home from work for a week. Okay, thank you, doctors. That was the bonus right there. BD Painting. Hello, Painting. Tony Badano, what up? What did Heather say? Gumbo is good under the right cook. Ooh. All right, Gaming Booger. Gaming Booger, it sounds like Heather is calling into question your culinary expertise. So Gaming Booger, we're gonna need you to list off all of your culinary experience, credentials, past employers. If you have links into any of your homebrew recipes for gumbo and anything else that might help establish your authority on the situation at hand, that is gonna help us here. Otherwise, you know, I say guilty until proven innocent. I'm gonna side with Heather. So I'm sorry. I know that is not the proper way to do things, but whatever. Jasper's Pearl, hello. I definitely smell a pork product of some kind. That would be me. That would be me, Jaspers. Thank you. He's like Mr. Piggy sitting there drinking his frozen coffee. I feel like there should be moderation action against people who call me Piggy. I'm just kidding. Moderators, I'm just kidding. Don't, I'm screwing around. Don't do anything to Mr. Pearl. I like him. I guess we're all hungry, apparently. Centerfire, what up, dude? I mentioned like moderation actions and Penguin Butt gets all excited. She's like, she like reaches over and grabs her like wrench. She has this, you guys know those plumbing wrenches, the pipe wrenches, the big huge ones? They're often like red. She has one of those next to her desk in her closet. I've seen it. It takes up half of her closet and she swings this thing. Her closet gets bigger every day. So she gets super excited about swinging the wrench. So I got to make sure that I'm very clear, you know. Owen can't find the bacon, so I will head to sleep. No, Owen, what are you doing? It's only like midnight for you. You stay your butt up. You have wrenches to crank on. Stephen Newton, what's up, dude? Hey, Stephen, are you related to the people who make the Fig Newtons? We need to talk about this. Yeah. Sneaky Steve, what up? Evan Bashaw says, I'm eating bacon right now. I stand with Luke. Oh, that's... Yes. Penguin Butt says, I am ruthless. Flame Black has bacon, but I'm not sharing. You selfish jerk. You bring bacon and you don't share. All right. All right, Flame Black. I mean, I would do the same thing. I'm also a selfish jerk when it comes to bacon, so. my wife wants, like, we'll have like breakfast or something and we'll have bacon and she's like, give the dog some of your bacon. And I'm like, no, I'm not giving the dog my bacon. She'll give bacon to our dumb cats and our cats don't even eat it. They just sniff it and lick it and let it sit there. And she keeps doing it. I'm like, stop giving bacon to the cats. They don't eat it. Our cats don't eat human food like at all. One of them might, but most of them don't. Now the dog will eat anything. The dog will just sit down there. Pretty much anything goes down her gullet. Chocolate. She loves chocolate. Oh my gosh. So where was it? I think we left a chocolate bar. Where was that? I think it was on what do you call it? In your living room, the coffee stand. We had a couple. Was it Hershey's with almonds or something? It was something like that. It was on the coffee stand and our dog got up there and, oh dude, she likes that. So I went on Amazon and I found these boxes of chocolate. It's not like the grade A chocolate. It's kind of like, you know, I figured it's a dog, right? So I don't need to give my dog like the premium chocolate. So we got this like box of chocolate. It was a pretty reasonable price. It's kind of like how you get squirrel food, you know? Anyway, it was basically a box of chocolate. It's pretty good price and stuff. And so now she gets like little chocolate bars, you know, every so often, like multiple times a day. She goes out and goes potty and it's a good doggy. I give her some chocolate, you know? She eats that crap up. She loves it, man. Woo! What do you mean dogs can't have chocolate? She's happy. She loves it. I'm just eating that stuff up. I'm just kidding, guys. I don't give my dog chocolate. I think it's venomous. Or not venomous. It wouldn't be venomous. You'd have to inject it into their bloodstream for it to be venomous. I have not tried doing that. It's probably poisonous. My dog doesn't get chocolate. Somebody's gonna believe me and be like, Luke's a horrible person. All right, I'm gonna get some tea and then we're gonna kick this thing off. Dog likes raw eggs. Nice. That's probably not good. All right. I hope Owen left. Owen, if you need to sleep, go to sleep, dude. I was just screwing with you. He's like, oh no, I have to stay up until 4 in the morning now because Luke won't let me leave. Go to sleep, Owen. All right, you guys ready to start this off? Get this thing going? I'm excited. I get to push buttons tonight. All right, where's the first one? All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live stream. Tonight we're gonna do a Q&A live stream. It's gonna be the most amazing thing you've ever witnessed in your life. But I will just sit here and we'll answer your questions, and there's gonna be over 100 questions and I won't get to them all, and many of you are gonna be angry at me and seething with hatred and disdain, and I accept that. I still love you. I'll do the best I can. Obviously, if you super chat and throw money at me, I am contractually obligated to answer your question. And I feel really bad when I get a super chat and then I give you a bad answer. So I try to do my best. But if you get a bad answer from me, I'm just gonna give you Penguin Butt's phone number and you can call her and she will give you a good answer. So deal? Penguin Butt, you good with that? I mean, you're gonna get your standard rate. You're gonna make some money, don't worry. All right, she's excited. All right, so Q&A, we got some stuff going on. We're doing a giveaway as always. So there's a link in the chat where you can sign up for the giveaway. Some of you have been refraining from entering the giveaway to give others a more opportunity to win. And I encourage you to be selfish and enter the giveaway tonight. Yeah, just enter the giveaway. You get some free, it's a free D&D book or store credit on the DM Lair store. We got some cool stuff over there. And yeah, it's really easy. It's free. You enter. We'll draw the winner at the end of the stream tonight. So go check that out. And what else am I supposed to plug? Oh yes, our charity. We are we're trying to raise money for One More Child. They are a charity that helps support trafficking victims, adoption families, foster families, I think single parents, and lots of stuff to do with families and, you know, trafficking victims and things like that. They're a wonderful organization. We're at, I think, $265 raised right now, and we're trying to get to $500, and all tips, 100% of all tips will go to One More Child. There's a link in the chat there where you can tip. And also there's a link to One More Child's website too, where you can go there and read more about what they do and stuff like that. So our goal is $500. When we get there, we will donate to them, and then we will move on to our next charity. So that's what yeah, I told you. Can you guys hear little guy? He won't shut up. He just keeps on crying and whining at the window. All right. Next. Oh, that's right. Don't forget, this stream is brought to you by the Layers and Legends Kickstarter. That's my Kickstarter. It is amazing. And even if I didn't have to tell you that because it's mine, I would still say that it's amazing because I am unbiased in my opinion on how awesome that Kickstarter is. So there's a link in the chat where you can go check that out. You're gonna get 2 huge books full of Dungeon Master resources, adventures, monsters, traps, puzzles. Who sucks at making puzzles? I do. Lots of awesome puzzles in there. NPCs, villains, standalone encounters. We got tons of maps and stuff in there. These books are massive. So when you go over there and you're like, wow, that's some money to get those books. Yes, because they're going to be over 300 pages each. They're going to be huge. So lots of resources stuffed in there. Hopefully it could help you as your dungeon mastering duties, reduce your prep time and stuff like that. I don't know. Go take a look at it. It's really cool. We're unlocking stretch goals. We've unlocked a lot of the stretch goals. We're going to be able to commission a good amount of art. We already got art coming in. I think I got 6 more final pieces of art today that came in from one of our artists. So very excited about that. And so I'll probably make an update tomorrow, probably on the Kickstarter, to share some more artwork and stuff with you guys. So very, very happy. I could probably show some at some point here tonight too, to give you guys a sneak peek or something. So anyway, very cool. The Kickstarter has about a week and a half left. We are drawing down to the last chance to get in on the action, unlock more stretch goals and get more content. So you'll definitely want to check that out. And if you don't want to back the Kickstarter, that's fine. I still love you. You keep coming back and we're good. Because if you don't back, Penguin Butt will just make up for it. She has disposable income and we're just gonna, we're gonna force it on her. Right, Penguin Butt? Penguin Butt's happy. She's like, yes, yes, sir. All right. I pick on Penguin Butt tonight. I would pick on Ed about little guy whining his butt off, but Ed's not here. Penguin Butt's like, I have what now? I'm broke. Go back to Kickstarter, folks, and we can pay Penguin Butt more money. How about that? Now that she can get behind. All right, what are we gonna do? Yes. All right, it is time to do our shout outs for our wonderful patrons and YouTube members. So we do tons of free stuff around here for folks. Obviously the videos that are full of the Dungeon Master advice. We do these live streams where I answer your questions. Over on my website, thedmlair.com, we have tons of 100% free content for Dungeon Masters. Adventures, monsters, traps, puzzles, the whole shebang. We pay people to write these things, we edit them, we put them up there. You can get them for free. And my patrons and YouTube channel members all help make that possible. I'm deeply, deeply appreciative for all of their support. And beyond just supporting all the free content that we make, they also get access to the premium content, mainly Lair magazine, which is full of Dungeon Master resources. That is our premium publication that comes out every single month. But we also have map packs full of digital maps you can use for online games. We have bonus adventures we send out. I'm talking right now with somebody who makes miniatures. So we might do something in the future. I don't know. This is like a little teaser. Nothing may come of it, but I'm investigating something else possibly that patrons might get. So sneak peek, but it might not happen. So don't hold me to it. But anyway, very thankful to my patrons and YouTube channel members. You guys are amazing. And now these folks right here get their names right off because they support at an even greater level. So here we go. 5e Magic Shop, Aerospatial, Alex T, Amanda W, Ambers, Amy P, Andrew M, Andrew U, NDS, Andy W, Anthony E, Antoine B, Arutha Baldman, Bardabear, Benjamin B, Baron Castle, Brandon, Brandon A, Byron M, Call Me Backup, Celestina K, Chase O, Chris, Chris C, Chris E, Christopher S, Cody B, Colton T, Contrary Gravy, Corey S, Draxus, Dresna, Dutch, Ed R, Edward L, Ericos, Flame Black 200, Goliath Cleric, Gravy Chorn, Ian B, It's Beoban, Izzy T, Jackie Pizza, Jack L, Jacob K, James L, Jan F, Jeremy W, Jerry W, Jessica J, Jim P, JM, Joe D, John A, John K, Joseph H, Josh S, Kale S, KK, Keith L, Kevin F, Kezides, Kirby, Kyle G, Kyle M, Labraworks, Lionheart Magnen. Sorry. Marty M, Marwin R, Matt B, Matthew J, Mirastal, Mr. Linkanu, Mr. T, Old Timer, O&D, Penguin Butt, Pierre P, published author Rachel S, Radiance Guardians, Ramus, Razlik, Race W, Renner C, Robert C, Ron R, Ronald, Ryan H, SG Sounders, Sakura, Scott V, Sir John, Shane L, Sheila A, Snowy Tiggy, Son of a Sofa Man, Soul Naya, Stephen T, Stephen A, Tactical Tokens, The Three Quarters Hospital, The Old DM, The Pickle, The New Bad Ombre, Thomas F, Thomas T, Tiger 500, Tim Black, Tom C, Traveling Cash, Travel is a Loss, Tristan W, Tyler R, Vincent G, Vladimir S, Will M, XX Red Drum. Thank you so much, folks. I appreciate the support. All right, we are ready to rock and roll now. The Head Smiter's like, yo, dude, check this out, man. When can we expect the books to be mailed? The Kickstarter books, when can we get them? Well, we're still in the middle of the Kickstarter, and we need to commission artwork and get that all coming in. The manuscripts are mostly done, but we still have to commission some bonus content. We unlocked more content with the stretch goals, and so we have to commission some of that and get that stuff coming in. Editing and stuff needs to happen with that. That's gonna take some time. But the main thing that's gonna draw this out a little bit is gonna be the artwork. It takes time to get nice, beautiful artwork coming in. So that's gonna take a little bit of time. And then once we got that done, we send that over to our graphic design people. They lay it out. It looks all pretty. We have to review that a few times. There'll be some back and forths. We get it nice and pretty. They have to lay out 2 books. Two huge, massive books. That's gonna take some time. And there's gonna be some reviewing and stuff and tweaking and all this kind of thing. Then that gets done. And then we have books, right? Now we gotta send them to the printer. We send them to the printer. We get the printer takes some time to take in the PDF, analyze it, get their all systems set up and crap. And then we have to order proofs of it. We get some proofs in. We get the proofs, we look at them, and we have to review what's in the books, right? Takes some time. You almost always find problems. You go back to the internal design people and you're like, yeah, could you tweak this stuff? And they tweak it and we send it back to the printer. It takes some time again. They send us proofs and we review it. Are you getting what I'm getting? We got some time in there to get all this done. And then you have to do then once everything looks pretty, once everything looks wonderful, you order your print run. Our last print run for Into the Fae took us it was 3 months. I think it was pushing on 3 months for the print run of 2,000 books or whatever it was. So you order the print run, and then once that's done, that goes over to your 3PL, your fulfillment partner, right? They take some stuff in, then blah, 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 they ship it out and stuff. So there's a big process involved in doing all of this. So I explained it all because I want you to know how very difficult and challenging it is. It's actually, once you've done it once, it's not that big of a deal, which is true for everything in life. Once you've done it and you know what you're doing, it doesn't seem that bad anymore. The first time it was holy crap, Anyway, but it is a long process. So right now, I've promised on the Kickstarter page that you will get your books by next year about this time. That is the official promise, because here's the thing. I know that with any project like this, you're always going to run into hiccups and delays. You always will. So I think we could have it sooner than that, but I know I'm going to be wrong because something horrible is going to happen and there's going to be a big delay. So this time next year is when we're anticipating having it by. That's the long answer. I just want you to understand how challenging it is. Little guy needs to be quiet. Can you guys hear him? Can you hear him whining? I can hear him. You can see him back on the window. He's right behind me, off my shoulder. That's little guy right there. He's sitting up there, staring out the window, crying. And I'm not letting him. He doesn't go outside. That little turd, when he gets outside, he doesn't want to come back in. He's under our deck. He doesn't want to come in. And we're like, how do we get this stupid cat back in the house? So yeah, he does not go outside. We have one cat that goes outside because she will reliably come back. But that dude, no way, man. He's a little maniac. Under what circumstances, if any, do you award inspiration? This is a great one. So, I was actually thinking about inspiration yesterday, I believe. I was pushing out one of my Curse of Strahd videos, and it just occurred to me, I almost never award inspiration. And then I was thinking, I was like, you know, a couple years ago, I awarded inspiration all the time. And what changed? And I was like, oh yeah, I forget. So the truth is that I forget to award inspiration constantly, all the time. And then every so often during a game, I'll just be like, oh, I should give people inspiration. Because somebody did some really fine role playing. And I'll be like, oh, I should give them inspiration. And then I'll be like, well, I haven't given inspiration out at all recently. Well, they did some good role playing. Yeah, okay. And this is all in my brain, right? They did too, and then oh yeah, they did too, and then I don't know if that guy did. But if I give like everybody but that person inspiration, I'm gonna feel really bad. Okay, everybody gets inspiration. That was great role playing. I love this, and I haven't given it out for everybody gets inspiration. Please take inspiration. And then everybody gets inspiration, and then 3 months will go by and I'll forget to do it. That is my current state of things. I just forget to do it. I used to be much better at it. To directly answer your question, I give out inspiration when you are role-playing your character. Specifically, if you're role-playing things that align with, there are like 4 different categories that you pick for your character. I always forget the names of them, but it's like an ideal, it's a bond, there's a flaw, and then there's another one in there that I forget. But if you are role-playing any of those characteristics in your character, and I'm not talking, when I say role-play, I am not talking about the talky part. That's not role-play. That is a part of role-playing, but that's not all that role-playing is. Role-playing is the entire game of running your character, whether you're in battle or whether you're having a social interaction with someone. So let's be clear what I mean by role-playing. But if you are role-playing your character, any of those things, the ideal, the bond, the flaw, those categories that I mentioned, any of those sorts of role-playing, whether it's in combat, whether it's exploration, like you might have a flaw that says, when I see something that's not nailed down, I have to steal it. So you could be sneaking around or something, and there's like a shopkeeper that left his coin purse or something on the table, and you are like, I have to take it. And all of your other players are like, don't do it, you crazy. And he's like, I can't help it, it's my flaw. And he takes it, right? That's role-playing your character. And so you could get inspiration for that. I also, if there's something from your backstory that you are bringing up in role-playing, I have some players that are very good about thinking about the emotions that their characters are experiencing in a certain situation. And they'll get inside their characters' heads and then explain, I'm going to pick on Kasim because I think he's a pretty good example of this. But Kasim will be like, oh man, this is really trigger me right now. And so Kasim is just really X, Y, and Z emotions, and stuff. And he'll explain that, he's not, it doesn't have to be like a crazy verbose 20-minute explanation of your feelings. That doesn't interest me as much as a couple sentences. Boom, there you go. Hey, we're role playing. Great. Inspiration. Thank you. Have a nice day. So I look for those things, any of those characteristics, ideal, bond, flaws, and the other one I'm forgetting. If you're role playing things from your backstory, if it could be in combat and role playing. The other category that I give inspiration for as well, that is not, and all of those things that I just mentioned, those are things that are mostly straight out of the Dungeon Master Guide, out of the book. Those are things that are recommended for you to give inspiration for. The one thing I would say that I give inspiration for that probably I don't think is in the rules is just simply making everybody laugh, giving the group a fun little moment, whatever it happens to be. It could be your character does something awesome. It could be that you as a player make a funny joke and we all laugh our butts off and we have a wonderful time and the whole atmosphere is lifted and we're all just feel good. I'll give inspiration for that because you are improving the game experience for everybody at the game table. You made us laugh, we joked, we had fun, right? We feel that camaraderie, all of that good stuff that comes from an RPG. So if you do that, that is also something that I give out inspiration for. Now, I do have this thing where you are allowed to have more than just one inspiration point. I let you stockpile up to 3 inspiration points in my games, and then you can use them whenever you want. The reason that I do this is that I have found that when you can only have 1 inspiration point, that players usually never use it because they're always trying to save it for like the really important time. And so they like never use it. And then if I'm awarding, if I remember to reward inspiration and I'm giving out inspiration, a lot of the players will just be like, oh, I already have it. There's no point. But if you can stockpile it and get up to 3 of them, they feel a little bit more willing to use their inspiration and spend it because they know they might have 2 already, or they might be full at 3 and they can get rid of 1 and they can use them and still keep 1 in reserve for the really important saving throw against the polymorph spell or banishment or something horrible that's going to ruin your day. And that's the main reason that I let players stockpile 3, so they feel like they can actually use them and they're not just hoarding it forever. And I think that encompasses all of the situations in which I give out inspiration, generally speaking, and also my mechanic for letting them stockpile it. I did a video a while ago on luck points, and we stopped using luck points in my games at least a year ago, I think, for most of my games. For various reasons, we found them to not be balanced and not... This is interesting. So we got rid of them. This is a really interesting point. I sometimes tinker with homebrewing stuff, and many times, this is just what I found. I've found that many times when I tinker with the core rules and homebrew and do something, we'll test it out for a while, sometimes an extended period of time. We used luck points for a year or more in some of my games. We used an alternative way of doing initiative for well over a year at my Curse of Strahd game, a couple of years perhaps. But what usually happens with all of my little genius homebrew ideas is that after a while the group discusses and we're like, yeah, I kind of would rather go back to the rules as written, how it's just in the books. That's just, and we'll talk and discuss, and then almost always we go back to how things are straight out of the books, which I don't know. I find it very interesting. I don't know if it is a commentary on like my homebrew rules sucking, which is possible. You never know when you test something out. It might be horrible. You might not like it. Or if it's commentary of, hey, you know, these core rules aren't that bad. Which there's a part of my soul that pains me to say that sometimes because it does, but we tend to go back to them and be okay with them. So anyway, there's some information for you. Hear this cat. Pig D&D, what's up, buddy? That cat's gonna get it. You know what I'm gonna do to that cat? I'm gonna pick that cat up and I'm gonna rub his belly. That's my cat's punishment. What did you say to Penguin Butt? Goliath Cleric. Gamer Pharaoh says, do you allow players to use inspiration on death saving throws? Absolutely not. No, I would not do that. It literally says in the book that death saving throws can have no modifier whatsoever to them. In my opinion, it is already that dying almost never happens in 5th edition. It is a trivial matter. The death saving throw mechanic and how that stuff works already is stacked in the player's advantage. If you also let them use inspiration on death saving throws, it's like, oh my gosh, let's just make this the you can't die, you're invincible, you know? Yeah, so no, I don't do that. I would not imagine doing that. But I'm cruel and inhumane, so I'm probably the exception. I have not seen Dungeon Craft's initiative system, so I can't tell you how I feel about it. I can tell you, Master Brewer, that in general, the videos of Dungeon Craft that I have seen, I overwhelmingly enjoy. I think he and I think in very similar ways on a lot of stuff. And he has very insightful observations and stuff from all of his years of experience and stuff. So I don't know what I think of it because I've never seen it, but I probably would be positively inclined toward it because I like a lot of his ideas and things he talks about. You can't wait for the Mud Woman to come to 5e? Oh, is that a Spelljammer thing or something? Shy Horizon, hello, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? Shy Horizon right there is working on some commissions for us for Into the Fae. They're doing digital maps for us, and they're very close to being done, and I'm super excited to be able to release that. So everybody all of our Kickstarter backers for Into the Fae, once these maps are done, you're gonna get an email pushed out to you from Kickstarter with a digital download so you can get more maps, different maps for Into the Fae that are gonna be they're gonna be better for use on digital, like virtual tabletops like Roll20, Fantasy Grounds and stuff. The original maps that we did for Into the Fae were amazing and beautiful and absolute pieces of art, and I love the crap out of them. They were so good. The issue we ran into is that when you try to put those onto a virtual tabletop, they don't work quite as well as other types of maps. And so we wanted to offer to our backers of Into the Fae digital maps that would work for that. And so we literally about, I don't know, a year after the Kickstarter happened, over a year and a half after we even did fulfillment, I was getting some feedback of people requesting that, and I was like, yeah, that's a good idea, let's do it. And so we're just paying a bunch of money to this dude to make some maps so that our Kickstarter backers will have better digital maps for online play, we'll say. So that's very cool. Holy crap, Ed Robinson has 1 hit point remaining. You guys, somebody get him. Look at him. He's got 1 hit point left. 1 hit point. Anybody can snipe him and get your name up here right now. Like $5 or $50 as a super chat. We'll get your name up here right now and get his name off from there. I love Ed, but you can't let him sit up there with 1 hit point. No way, dude. Also, by the way, shameless plug incoming. If you are not aware of our Kickstarter Layers and Legends, I am making you aware right now. It is going on right now. There's about a week and a half left, and we are unlocking tons of stretch goals, additional content, artwork, amazing stuff. 2 big, huge, there goes Heather Burke, woo! 2 big, huge books full of Dungeon Master resources, adventures, monsters, traps, puzzles, standalone encounters, NPCs, villains, adventure ideas, lots of cool stuff. There's a link in the chat right there where you can go take a look at the project and become a backer. You're gonna love these books. It has got crap tons of content in them. It's probably gonna be enough stuff. We have the adventures go from levels 1 to 15, and we have 25 adventures. 25 adventures. It's crazy. Over 100 monsters, traps, puzzles, tons of resources you can drag and drop into your game, make your life easier as a dungeon master. So you should definitely check it out. Otherwise, we'll be sad. So Heather, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. I really appreciate that. You are amazing. She's got her name up there now. Now somebody's got to kill her. Where is she? Look at that. Look at that. She's got 5,000 health. Somebody's going to get her. I think somebody will get her tonight. Okay, now I do have some other super chats. I'll get to those right now. We have Joseph and Terrence are both like, Luke, what about me? Hey, Luke. I'm doing it right now. Joseph, thank you for the $20 super chat, dude. I really appreciate that. It's like my kitty. He slips outside, especially at night, and I end up spending like 30 minutes or more trying to catch the naughty little guy. Yeah, dude. What little guy, what's his real name? We call him little guy. But what's little guy's real name? I don't know my cat's name. Noki? Ravioli. Okay, his real name's Ravioli. Anyway, little guy he'll go out under our deck, and like our deck's all in, like, it's got that like white kind of grating all around it, and he's like under there somewhere. We can see him, and we're like, dude, how do we get this guy out of here? It's not fun. The last time was not fun. I gave up on him. I was like, screw him. He's gonna be out there for a while. And my wife and daughter were like, no, we gotta get him, and they were out there for a while until they finally got him. I don't know how they did it. That's what he does. Terrence, thank you for the $5 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. My players are always bland in combat. It's just I cast Scorching Ray or hit, which makes it hard to me to flavor or narrate. Any advice? So I have a couple pieces of advice for you. The first thing that I want to emphasize is that it's okay for them to do that. I wouldn't worry about it too much. You are not somehow failing as a dungeon master because your players won't narrate their actions. This is not a comment on your dungeon mastering, and it's not a comment on the quality of your game, and it's not a comment on how much your players are enjoying your game. There's nothing negative about the fact that your players don't narrate their actions more and they don't make it more flavorful. That is a completely neutral thing. It is not a bad thing. So in my opinion, you shouldn't feel bad about yourself in any way, nor about your players in any way. That is just the way they play the game. That's how they engage with it. That's how they do things. It's neither good nor bad. It's just how they do it. Some players will describe things more. Some players will describe it less. It's personal preference. Sometimes they don't have the words. Sometimes it's not something they feel comfortable doing. Sometimes they just don't care. Sometimes they just want to show up, throw dice, and kill stuff and eat junk food, and that's that. They love that and they have fun. So don't worry about it, I would say, is the first thing. Like, don't fret and don't feel like something is wrong. Nothing may be wrong. Everything could be perfectly fine. So that's my first thing. Second thing is, don't try to pressure them. Don't pressure them to describe all of these things because they might not want to. They might not care. It's like we go to jobs every day. We go to works. We have bosses and stuff, and our bosses tell us to do things, and we have to do it. We get forced to do things all the time. And we have to pretend to have a good attitude while we're doing it, so the boss doesn't get angry with us, and then we get in trouble and we have to find new jobs. So we have people telling us what to do all day long, right? When we go to our D&D games, we most of the time, we want to just relax and have fun and play the game. And so to have somebody trying to like influence us and push us to do something that we may or may not want to do might not be enjoyable. So I would be careful about, in any circumstance for anything, pressuring your players in a certain way, one way or another, especially when it comes to how they play their own characters. So that is something that I would be very careful about. And that's something called agency, allowing your players to have agency in what they do. Now, what we're talking about is perhaps a little bit of different flavor of agency. It's how they engage with the game and how they play the game, but it's still related to that. So I wouldn't feel the need to pressure them and try to get them to do things the correct way, because there is no correct way, and we all play the game differently. The third thing that I would say is what you can do is set the example. So you describe what your enemies and stuff are doing. You give the narrative flavor. You give the narrative descriptions. Now, since you're asking this question, I'm going to assume you probably are doing that. So continue doing that. It would be exceptionally weird for a dungeon master to not be doing that themselves for their own monsters and things, but want their players to do it. So my guess is you're already doing it. Continue doing that. Set the example. From time to time, when something happens, such as a critical hit, or they kill an enemy, or they have a critical fumble and roll a 1 and totally miss, or when something amazing happens, just simply ask them, hey John, would you like to describe what that looks like? That's it. And if they decline, that's cool. Maybe you describe it, or you don't describe it, or whatever, but just ask them. And you don't have to pester them every single time, and alternate. Just ask your character. So set the example, and then every so often ask them if they'd like to describe it. That's it. No pressure at all. You're just, hey, we want to describe that. Nah, I don't feel like it. Okay, that's cool. And then maybe you do it. And that way you set the example, which by setting the example, you help make people feel comfortable doing it themselves if they want to. Because if somebody else is doing all of this, then it's like, oh, that's kind of what we do around here. Okay, cool. And then maybe you're doing it constantly. We'll begin to roll off on them a little bit, and they'll feel a little bit like, And then when you invite them to do it, they might feel comfortable doing it from time to time. Maybe sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes they'll say no. And you can just kind of do that. I have a player that never wanted to describe anything, and he's come around. And now he describes a lot of stuff a lot more. Not always, but he does it way more than he used to. And it's not... Again, I basically set the example, and then I keep asking him, hey, do you want to describe it? Hey, do you want to describe it? And, there's no pressure, and I don't do it too frequently in such a way that will be off-putting and stuff and make him be like, oh, he's always... But he's come around a little bit. Now, that may not always work. This could be a fluke. I don't know. But there's some information for you. That is weird. All right, give me a second. I'm having a brain meltdown right now. Oh. All right, there we go. All right, cool. All right, Joseph, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Somebody in chat's like, did you get my super chats? Obed, no, I've seen no super chats come through, dude. There we go. Brent says, Luke, with your homebrew ideas, do you still throw death saving for the players? If we're in person, yes, I still roll those. If we are online, we use Roll20, and one of my moderators, Ed, gave us a macro that allows my players to click a little button that then rolls a death saving throw that is only visible to me and them. So, and then that player knows where they're at, and I know where they're at, but nobody else knows, and that avoids the metagaming stuff, which is the problem when you have a player roll a death saving throughout the table and everybody knows where they're at. So that is how we do that now. Man, I'm really congested right now, and this is making talking difficult. Idle says, how do you keep paranoia, anxiety that your campaign is being enjoyed the way you intended? I think, so it sounds like what you're asking is sometimes a dungeon master might feel anxiety that their players aren't enjoying their campaign or something. And how do I deal with that? I do care whether my players are enjoying my games or not. If they're not enjoying my games, that is concerning to me. I want them to be having fun. I want all of us to be having fun. I think the reason I don't feel anxiety or paranoia or something of my players enjoying the games is I can see that they're having fun by observing their faces and their actions and stuff. And they keep coming back, which tells me they're having fun, because it's who gives up 5 hours of their time, 6 hours of their time, you know, if they're not enjoying themselves? That's a lot of time. You could be doing a lot of different things. If you keep coming back, you're probably enjoying it enough to keep coming back. Some of my games are paid, and people pay a good amount of money to play D&D with me. And if they're going to keep paying that amount of money, they're probably enjoying themselves. I imagine. I would hope so. Who's going to pay $100 a month to not have fun? So I think that I confirm through my observations that people are having fun. And when I can see that and it confirms it, that helps me to be like, oh, okay, cool. They're having fun. Great. I also recognize that not everyone will enjoy my games, and that some people will leave, and that's going to happen, and that's fine. That is not a comment on my games or my abilities as a dungeon master. Some people just don't mesh and have different expectations or different things they want to do in the game, and they'll just move on and find somebody else that runs a game that's more in alignment with what they want. So even if people leave and stuff, that's not necessarily even a comment. I don't even take that as like a knock against me. Now, I wish I would know why some people leave so that I can improve. That would be useful feedback, but you don't always get that. So I keep that in mind as well. So I think that's a couple things that help me, I suppose. Fenrir says it doesn't matter if your players aren't enjoying it the way you intended it. If they were enjoying it in their own way, that's fine. I 100% agree with that. I design many things in my games that my players interact with and enjoy, but perhaps not in the way that I thought they would, and it doesn't matter. As long as they're having fun, that's what matters, and as long as I'm having fun as well. So yeah, I mean, if you put like, I don't know, you could create something, and as long as somebody enjoys it and has fun with it, does it matter if it's like being used the way you thought it would be used? Many inventions that have gone on to be super successful in the world are things that were never intended. Penicillin, Kevlar, lots of the things that we have and enjoy were never intended to be used the way that they're being used. But they were wildly successful. So what is your base checklist for writing adventures? I've tried to bunker down and write an adventure, but I just can't formulate things from beginning to end. Any tips? Yeah, let's take a look at some stuff. Stand by, sir. All right, let's go over here. All right, so I'm gonna bust out the notepad here. And is there a way to, I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. All right, steps for writing adventure. Let's see if I can zoom. There we go. That's beautiful. All right, the first thing I usually want, I need some monsters. I need to look through the monster books and figure out what monsters I want to use in an adventure. What inspires me? What do I think is cool? What is exciting? Because as a dungeon master, one of the things that really excites me is having some cool monsters I can use. And so that's my first step. I want to find some cool monsters. I might have a boss. I might have a boss, and I'll have underlings under that boss. That's my first step. The next thing is I need a concept or a plot or a conflict. I need a reason to use the monsters. What is that boss up to? What is the conflict they're introducing to the game? What is their motivation? What are they trying to accomplish? What do they want? And then how is that causing conflict in the game world? Because from that conflict, you get the reason adventurers are going to go look at this thing that's going on and try to stop them. So now we have that concept. So you have the big bad boss who's doing a bad thing. It's causing a conflict in the game world. And now you have some plot hooks. All right. So you have, okay, simple stuff. The mayor of the village goes up to the adventuring group and says, hey guys, we have X problem. Could you help solve it? And we'll give you a reward. So plot hooks, they clearly present the problem and they present the reward. And that could be a motivation. The reward, it should be a motivation. Sometimes people are motivated just to do the right thing. So you got some plot hooks. The next thing that you want to think about is actually the meat of the adventure. The meat of the adventure is when you're actually planning out. So you find a map, or you think about what map you want to create, and you are going to actually design and detail out what is in the different areas of the map. So there's like a 4A, you're going to have the map. Now sometimes I will design an adventure around a map. I find I literally go out and I'm a patron for some different people that create maps. I'll go over and I'll look through their catalog of maps, and I'll find a map that I want to use in my game and that kind of fits what I'm looking for. And then I will design the adventure around the map. I find that to be way easier than trying to create my own map. It saves me time, and you can sometimes find a really cool map that inspires you while you're creating that adventure. And so you design out a map, and then you're going to you're going to like flesh out the details of the areas in the map. So room 1, what's in there? Who's in there? What's going on in there? Are there any monsters in there? Is there a trap? Is there a puzzle? So this is like encounters. This could be, oh, there's actually a tab button. Hold on a second. Ooh. This could be encounters, puzzles, traps, NPCs. Things like that you might find. You're gonna flesh out that stuff in the map. You want to have, you want to consider, when you're doing this, you want to consider your 3 pillars: combat, exploration, and social interactions. That's part of designing your adventure. You want to include all of those. I've done a video on all of those if you're interested in that stuff more. And then the last thing you're gonna do, probably step 5, is your conclusion. What happens? How does it, if they're successful, what happens? They get the reward, right? What happens if they fail? What are the results of failure? How could that affect them? And you want to think out those things. I think those are the basic steps that I use when I'm creating an adventure at a very high level, obviously. And I have a template that I use. I'll just pull it up really quick for you. I'll just show you it. I think it's available for free somewhere. Let me see. I know I have it here somewhere. Adventure template, there it is. So literally have a Word doc. I'll write creatures. I'll write some DM notes. This is the storyline. This is like the plot. This is the conflict. This is what the big bad guy is trying to do. I'll detail out locations. I'll detail out NPCs. I'll create some random encounters that you'll need if they take short rests, if they can take a long rest in the dungeon, if they leave and come back and you need to repopulate the dungeon or stuff like that. The inciting event is the plot hook, essentially. This is how they learn about the quest or the adventure. And the adventure details, this is where you actually are fleshing it out. And then you have the resolution, you have the conclusion. And this template kind of actually gives you some little prompts and stuff. I think I have this available. I think I have this on DriveThruRPG for free. But yeah, there you go. I think that answered your question. I'm so congested right now. It's crazy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to do a cat strike. Is Danny in the chat? I need to know if Danny is here. I have a special reveal, but we can only do it if Danny is here. We're gonna do a cat strike, but before we do the cat strike, let me regale you with the news of our Kickstarter Layers and Legends that is going on right now. There's only 1.5 weeks left to back the project and help unlock more stretch goals for all of our backers. There's a link in the chat where you can go learn more about it. You're gonna get 2 hardcover books full of Dungeon Master resources, adventures, monsters, traps, puzzles, standalone encounters, NPCs, villains, adventure ideas, whole bunches of cool stuff. It's gonna be beautiful. You should go check it out. And I am going to, I'm gonna get around the little catnip and, no, it's not the catnip, the cat treats. I'm gonna get the cat treats around and I'll show you a little video for Layers and Legends, and then we're gonna do a cat strike.
This content is brought to you by the Layers and Legends Kickstarter, coming in early 2022. Are you a dungeon master looking to reduce your prep time but still run awesome games for your players? Would you like professional pre-made 5th edition adventures, maps, traps, puzzles, magic items, and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? The Layers and Legends Kickstarter will create 2 gorgeous hardcover books for dungeon masters containing all of this and more. The first book, Layers and Legends, will deliver 25 5th edition compatible adventures spanning levels 1 to 15 and over 100 new terrifying monsters to pit against your players. The second book, Loot and Lore, will deliver 50 magic items, 25 puzzles, 40 traps, 10 factions, 30 standalone encounters with maps, 30 villains, 30 NPCs, 70 random tables, 30 adventure ideas, 20 spells, and 4 subclasses. And through the beauty of Kickstarter and stretch goals, we'll be able to commission beautiful artwork for both books and add even more content. Furthermore, in addition to the hardcovers, you can also get both books in PDF format and a digital map pack containing all the maps from both books. And if you'd like to pick up a hardcover copy of our last Kickstarter, Into the Fae, it will be available as an add-on to Layers and Legends. Click the link below to join the Layers.
All right, cool. Now we're doing the cat strike. If this is causing your cats to come running, let me know. Mine are like swarming like sharks. All right, go to the cat cam. Now, the last time I gave you guys a bunch of treats, you didn't eat it. Are you gonna eat it this time? Huh? Little butthead. I like to give it to them like I'm feeding chickens. Just kind of scatter it on the ground, you know? I will be back. All right. I had a bunch of cats down here and only 3 of them stayed. I don't know what that's all about. I'm cold. I'll turn my fan off. Oh, get a headache. Oh. All right, we rock and roll. Oh, little guy's gonna go in the box. Well, oh no, now he's walking away. Do you believe in modifying monster stat blocks to make them easier or harder? Yes. I do it all the time. I do both frequently. Most of the time I'm making them harder. However, sometimes I'll find a monster that's like CR 25 and I'll be like, I want to use this. But my group is like only level 12. So I'm like, I gotta make this, I gotta like make this easier or something. So yes, I've done that recently. And they all died anyway. They all died anyway. So I don't always do it successfully. I don't always succeed. It's never my intention for them to die. I never want them to die. But sometimes you come in hot. What are you gonna do? I don't like changing monsters on the fly. I do it as seldom as I possibly can. I want there to be that game experience of once we're in game and the battle has begun, that monster is what that monster is. And if I come in hot and that monster is way too powerful, then they better figure something out or run away or something. I don't like changing things in the middle of the combat and stuff. I feel like that it takes away from the game. It makes it just like I'm just guiding everything and curating the game experience to make sure that they're always gonna win, and that's not, I don't want that to be the feel. I want them to feel like, holy crap, we could die if we don't, Luke's not gonna save us, we need to do something here. And sometimes that results in unfortunate situations where parties wipe out and die. Not frequently. I don't have TPKs very often in my games, but it does happen. Okay, we do have some super chats. Let's get these things. Charlie the Tailor says, would you consider releasing a PDF of templates, such as NPCs, monster stat blocks, homebrew magic items, encounters, etc.? I mean, I wouldn't mind giving you templates. The issue I run into for those things is the templates, like, there's not a whole lot in a template for those things. NPCs, not a whole lot in a template. Monster stat blocks, it's like a lot of times you can just look at an existing resource. How did they create their NPCs? Okay, cool. I just follow that way of doing it, literally, Unless you want like bullet lists of prompts that help you to consider the different things, that you might want to include in a template and stuff like that. In which case, that I could see being more useful, perhaps, So we could definitely consider something like that. I can't commit to anything right now. People always hate me for this. I'll be like, yeah, that's a great idea. I can't commit to it. And they're just like, why don't you just... Well, because I don't like lying to people. I don't like telling someone that I'm going to do a thing and then not doing it. If I tell a person that I'm going to do a thing, I will make sure I do it, which means that I don't commit to things easily because I know that I'm going to keep my word. So that means that I don't commit to things easily. So that probably frustrates people, but I would rather not commit to something. think about it and then later decide to do it, then be like, yeah, we'll do that. And then I don't do it. I hate people who do that. People who will agree with you and say they'll do it, but then they don't do it. They don't follow through. Their commitment wasn't a real commitment. They just gave you lip service to make you feel good. I hate people like that. I would much rather have an honest person that tells me, I'm not sure about that. I don't think I'm going to do that. Let me think about it though. Love that. And then if they come back and say no, great. They thought about it and they approach me with honesty. But the people who are like, yes, I'll do it, and then they don't, I don't like people like that. Allergies killing you too? No, I don't have allergies. I'm just sick. I'm just congested and sick. But no, I don't have allergies. Thank you for asking, Lord God. I appreciate that. Oh, I have super chats I'm supposed to answer. I'm bad. I'm a bad streamer person. You know, you can always tell a streamer too. Like, I'm on Twitter a lot, and I'll just be like scrolling through, and I can always tell people who are streamers. At least, I don't know if it's a guy thing, but it's definitely girl streamers. They always have colored hair. Like, if I see somebody's like little image file and they have like red hair or blue hair or green hair or something, I'm like, that person's a streamer. They're a streamer. You can just tell. And then I'll be like, I'll click on their profile and be like, and then sure enough, they'll be like Twitch associate or Twitch partner or something, and I'll be like, I knew it. I knew they were a streamer. I could just tell. It's like the Twitch streamer look, where you have to color your hair and stuff. And you have to have one of these, like, you know, streaming chairs types of things, because that's the cool thing. You got to have the cool thing. Makes you look professional and legit. Let's forget about the fact that you have 5 people watching your stream. If you got... I got the super chats. Man, I got super chats. I keep getting distracted. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, Jasper's Pearl. Thank you for the $10 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. I mentioned how my players didn't want to interact with my Leviathan NPC, but I convinced them into giving him a chance. Now he's a reoccurring character, and they're helping him with his drug addiction. That's cool, dude. How did you ask him to, like, what was the conversation? I'm curious of, like, they didn't like your NPC, but then you were like, you know, give him a chance, guys. I want to know what that conversation looked like. That would be super interesting. Like, was it just like, you guys, I love this NPC. I know you hate him, but will you please just give him a chance? You might grow to like him. Lord God, thank you for the super chat, dude. Scale of Jello to brick. How are your sinuses right now? It's almost at brick level. Like, I can't, there's like no airflow. Airflow is probably at about 5%. I probably have 5% airflow right now. Like almost nothing. So I'm like mouth breathing right now, and I don't usually breathe through my mouth. Jaspers, hello, Jaspers. I think you were making fun of me about this before. Jaspers says, my husband says, where did you get the 4-legged chickens? Tell your husband that he's cool. I like him. I like people who make little jokes like that to poke fun at you. Like razzing and stuff is great. I like you too, Jaspers. I don't know. They just unsubscribed. Crap. Fry Minis, thank you the $5 super chat, dude. I made friends with a feral cat in my area. Named him Chunko because he has chunky paws. What is the best way to make sure he doesn't lose any fights? Well, don't let him get in fights. I mean, here's the thing with cats that live outside, feral cats and stuff. Many of them are malnourished. They don't get a whole lot of food and stuff. And if you don't get a lot of food and you're scrawny, the animal kingdom, in a lot of ways, especially when it's in the same species, weight is huge. Being heavier and stronger and having more energy because you have more nutrition and more food gives you a massive advantage. So just the simple fact that you feed that cat and help him get healthy and big and strong is going to give him the leg up on surviving against other, cats that might want to take his kitty food. So that's a solid first step. Just give him a bunch of food. Chad Lynch, thank you for the $5 super chat, man. I appreciate that. I noticed your bar grill helmet used in many of your skits. Are you a member of the SCA? That's the Society for Creative Anachronism. If so, how did you think this has influenced you with tabletop RPGs? I was in the SCA when I was in college. I think about all 4 years of college. Yeah, I was in the SCA for about 3.5 years when I was in college. Not anymore. All I did was the combat. I made my own armor, and except for certain pieces of it, but most of it I made myself. And then I had the sword and the shield and all that kind of stuff. And I would just go to every Sunday after church was weapons practice. And I would literally, I would wear my armor and carry all of my gear with me to church because it was on the way to weapons practice. And I would, put it all to the side and stuff. And then once church was over, I would get it all back up, put it on, and go to weapons practice. That was my Sunday, every Sunday. And then Saturdays, well, when I was running D&D, Saturdays was D&D day, Sundays was church, and then weapons practice. It was beautiful. You get lots of weird looks and stuff when you're wearing your armor and walking across the college campus. I was at University of Michigan. It was beautiful. So yeah, I was in SCA. How has it influenced my gaming? When you're wearing all of that heavy gear, you understand what it means to wear armor, and you understand what it is like to hold a shield and to have a weapon in one hand. Is it all perfectly accurate? No, but it gives you a better understanding of that sort of thing. Now, there's a bunch of bullcrap too. In some of the fighting styles they use in SCA, they do these little tiny flicks of the wrist and stuff like that. You would never generate enough force with an actual sword to penetrate armor and stuff with a lot of these fighting styles that they use. Now, it works when you have a rattan, which is a big stick, and you're just like flicking it around your basket hilt and stuff. It works great for that. And you're going to score like hits and blows and stuff, but none of that would actually work. Now, some of the stabbing would, for sure, but a lot of this stuff, they had this one technique where they would like whip it around and come back behind your head and then pull it back in. You never will generate enough force to penetrate anything. So there was a lot of stuff in SCA that was totally ahistorical and would never work, but they did it because it was part of, that's just what you did, Some people probably believed it would actually work. It's like people who study martial arts. Some people actually think some of these things will work. I did Taekwondo. I have a black belt. It's hanging right up there. I can tell you that 90% of that stuff is horse crap and will never work. And that a person just swinging at your face trying to murder you is going to beat you, dude. So some of the stuff we do is cool and fancy and keeps us in good shape. I once was reading a book. I have them on my shelf here. Called Facing Violence, Meditations on Violence. That was the second one. No, the first one's called Facing Violence. And in there, the author states that martial arts has saved more people from heart attacks than it ever has from real world violence, which is very interesting. And I agree, because and some of these things, people get so indoctrinated and they believe these things. It's just absolute horse crap and has no validation in actual real life. What happened to my ankle? Oh, I don't know. like, it just started hurting me all of a sudden. Like I would, like, before I got sick, I would go to the gym usually about 4 to 5 days a week, and it just started hurting me. And then I got sick, right? And I couldn't go to the gym anyway. And I was like, well, you know, this sucks to be sick, but it's gonna get, at least it's gonna give my ankle a chance to rest. And now I just wear a brace on it and I'm letting it rest. I have no idea what happened to it. It just hurts. It almost feels like it got twisted somehow. I do a lot of jogging and stuff, and I like to do cardiovascular activities where it's load bearing, where my whole body weight is on my legs and stuff. So something happened. I don't know. It just started hurting me all of a sudden. I noticed it and I was like, oh, that's weird. So I have no idea what happened to it. It's not bad, but it hurts, especially when I'm going up and down stairs, which is very interesting. When I'm walking, I usually don't feel a whole lot. Where's the dog? The dog is right here. Doggo! What are you doing, doggo? Okay, I gotta go show the dog.
He's a little doggy. He's a little doggy. Oh, there's a little doggy. There's a little doggy. He's a doggy.
Say hi to YouTube. Don't lick me in the face. Don't lick me in the face. This doggy's a traitor. There we go. All right, do I have any more super chats I missed? I'm bad. Shy says, advice for getting back into running a game without getting overwhelmed, both with prep and the social aspects. I feel this myself with one of the games that I'm running, because right now I don't have a whole lot of time to prep for my games. And when I do set aside time, I feel lots of pressure and stress from all of the other activities that need to get done to run the business. And so even when I set aside a couple hours to prep for a game, I still am like, wow, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do that. And it's what I feel this, right? And so I feel that's similar to, you say, getting back into a game without getting overwhelmed. And I feel that overwhelmingness, you know, when I have a game coming up and I need to prep for it, but I have all this other stuff going on, I can feel overwhelmed. And when you're feeling overwhelmed, it makes it difficult to focus on what you're doing. And one of the things I use psychologically in my brain to help me deal with it is, when I'm prepping for that game, I just tell myself, Luke, you're going to do your best. You're going to read, you're going to prep, you're going to do your best, and that's what it's going to be. And that's all you can do. You're not a superhero. You have a limited amount of time. You have a limited amount of capabilities and things. This is what it is. You have an hour to prep for the game. You're going to do the best you can. And then at the game table, you're going to do the best you can. And you know what? You're going to be okay with that. You're going to have to be satisfied with that. Because the alternative is they get no game. You're at least giving them a game. They're getting to play D&D, and they're probably going to have fun. If you prep for an hour, they're going to enjoy themselves and have fun. If you prep for 2 hours, are they going to have more fun? Maybe, maybe not. 3 hours, 4 hours? Is the amount of time that you prep to run the game directly proportional to the amount of fun they have, the amount of the enjoyment they have? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Now, there's probably this when we have diminishing returns, right? Now, I would say that there's probably a point at which you prep too little that might result in your game flopping. But I give it my best. I do what I can, and I just accept that I cannot do everything. I will do the best I can. This is what I can give. At least they're being able to play the game and have fun. What's the alternative? The alternative is that I just don't run a game. Well, then nobody has fun. The players don't enjoy anything, and I don't enjoy anything. Now, sure, maybe they could go find a game somewhere else or something, but maybe they can't. You know, maybe you're the dungeon master in the friend group, and if you don't do it, nobody's gonna do it. So I try to think about that stuff and be like, I just accept that that is the way it is. I will do the best I can, and we're still probably gonna have fun. And so I just psychologically, I try to trick myself, or just, if that makes sense, to accept it and be okay with it, so that I just relax and I don't feel overwhelmed. Social aspects, getting overwhelmed with social aspects. I don't know. I'm a social person and I don't really have any trouble interacting with people. So I don't know that I've directly had any experience with being overwhelmed by the social aspects of running a game or interacting with people. So I don't know that I can speak intelligently to that point. How can I make sure that my players have meaningful choices to make during an adventure? Sometimes having meaningful choices means you are preparing in advance certain things that will present meaningful choices. Other times, meaningful choices has nothing to do with you preparing anything in advance, and it has 100% to do with how you have the monsters, the NPCs, or the dungeon react to the decisions that they make. Every choice can be meaningful if you, as the dungeon master, make it meaningful. So you could do things like make sure your dungeon has more than one entrance. That's a meaningful choice. Do we go in through the front door, or do we take the route through the volcano at the top that gets us in? Meaningful choice. Once we're in the dungeon, is it a linear dungeon with only one way forward, or do we have to choose which doors to open, which corridors, and where to go? Meaningful choice. Can we see some monsters up there, but they don't see us? Okay, do we try to sneak by? Do we announce our presence and try to talk to them? Do we just charge in and attack? That's a meaningful choice. So meaningful choices present themselves all throughout an adventure. In some ways, we plan for these. You might have an encounter planned where the enemies will talk to the players and say, hey, we're actually looking for fresh recruits. Are you interested in joining us or something? Who knows? Who says that monsters have to fight every time? So you can create meaningful choices in advance. It's all dependent upon your creativity and your preparation for the game. Other times you're going to make their choices meaningful by how your dungeon reacts to them. If they decide to sneak in through the back door and sneak past a bunch of guards, and then they get to the final boss without having fought anyone in the dungeon, and then the final boss sounds the alarm, sends a couple people in the room running to get reinforcements, and then those people get away, and then reinforcements start coming, and the players are getting overwhelmed. That's a meaningful choice. You allowed them to get into that room and stuff, and then things started happening. There were results, consequences, one might say, of the decisions they made. It was a meaningful choice, 100% meaningful choice. So sometimes you plan in advance for it. Sometimes it's just simply with you deciding how the dungeon reacts. You don't have meaningful choices if you plan in advance how things are going to turn out. You plan in advance what will happen, whether they'll be successful or whether they'll fail, whether they get captured or whether they don't. When you determine outcomes in advance, then they have no meaningful choices, they have no agency, and I would argue that you're not running a D&D game, you're trying to write a book, you're trying to tell a story, and you're taking away the game elements, and you're reducing the fun of the game because it's no longer really a game when there is no agency and there are no meaningful choices, and you, the dungeon master, have already decided what's going to happen. That's telling a story, right? And that is usually not enjoyable when you force your narrative and your story upon your players and they aren't allowed to do what they want to do with their characters. How do you handle players that distract each other without becoming that teacher that has to separate the kids? I'd stare at them and ask them to stop. I will be that teacher. I don't care. I will manage my game table and run my game table. That's my responsibility. There's some people that say the dungeon master is just a player like everybody else. No, you're not. I've been meaning to do a video on an official video on my YouTube channel that is titled something along the lines of the dungeon master is not just another player. There are some people that want to just throw off the responsibility that comes with running the game of being a dungeon master. They don't want to have to make difficult decisions about removing players. They don't want to have to make difficult decisions about people that are misbehaving and trying to talk to them. They don't want to do these things. They want to push it off on the group. They want everybody to have to be responsible for it because they don't want to take on the responsibility that comes with running the group and organizing the group and being the dungeon master. Now, is it your sole responsibility? Maybe not. Should people help you? Maybe. But you're the dungeon master. You're running the game. It is your game. Sure, it's everybody's game. You're all participating in stuff. But if you weren't there, there probably would be no game and nobody would be doing anything. So you are the leader. You are the leader whether you like it or not. And I think responsibility comes with that. And part of that responsibility is managing the table and managing certain social aspects. And when people are getting at it, stepping in and being like, guys, what's going on here? Like, why are we arguing about this? You know? And then let's figure this out. Let's talk about it. So you are a facilitator of that group and of that game. You're a leader. When you take on the dungeon master role, you become a leader and your players will look to you as a leader. So, but some people will purport that, you know, the dungeon master is just a player. That's all you are. You're just another player. I disagree vehemently. I think you are a leader. You are running the game and you have a leadership position, whether you like it or not. Some folks just want to deny that responsibility and they don't want to do that. And they're like, never everybody is equal. Well, you know, I don't know. I need to do like an official video on that. I got into a small debate with a player. What's your opinion on Mage Hand or other such spells being able to grapple an enemy? Mage Hand can hold 10 pounds. 10 pounds. No, Mage Hand cannot grapple an enemy. You want to know what can grapple an enemy? Bigby's Hand. Literally a spell. I think it's a 5th or 6th level spell, and it has part of it is being able to grapple an enemy. If it takes a 5th or 6th level spell to be able to grapple an enemy, then a cantrip cannot grapple an enemy unless it literally says in the spell description that it can do it. So no. Players, that right there is a player who is reaching. They're reaching way beyond what Mage Hand was intended to do. You could argue that they're power gaming. They might just very well be doing that. So no, you're not gonna get out of a cantrip what it takes a 5th level spell to do. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. No. This like triggers me a little bit because I've had players who will try to make arguments like that. I had a player once, bless his heart, who had been playing with us for about a year or so, and out of nowhere, he's like, is that really 5 feet? Wait a second. I don't like, so hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay. So, okay, let's do a visual demonstration here. We're gonna get out the visuals. All right, so we've been playing for a year, and 5 feet reach. Like if this is the bad guy and this is the good guy, in order for you to be able to reach him and attack him with 5 feet reach, we've been playing for over a year that you have to be next to each other, adjacent to each other, and that's a 5 foot reach. You measure from the center of the square to the other center of the square. That's a 5 foot reach. We'd been playing that way for over a year. And then out of nowhere, during a game session, he tries to argue that that's not actually a 5 foot reach. That 5 foot reach is if there's a space in between you, because you can measure from the edge of this space to the edge of that space, and it's 5 feet. And so that's a 5-foot reach. So if you have a long sword, you should be able to attack an enemy that's not adjacent to you. Like, he tries to argue this with me out of nowhere after like over a year of playing at our table. I was so pissed. Like, you are just making horse crap up and dragging the table down into a worthless argument about something that has been established and ran that way for over a year. And nobody agrees with you. Filthy, filthy power gamer. That is an example of what a power gamer will do. And the arguments they'll try to make to derail your game. And you can probably sense that that pisses me off. Filthy power gamers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on a more positive note, have you heard of our Kickstarter, Layers and Legends? You probably have, because I talk about it a lot. We are in our last week and a half stretch right now, and there's going to be a link in the chat where you can check out more information about it. Essentially, backers of our Layers and Legends Kickstarter will get 2 big, huge, beefy books full of Dungeon Master resources. Adventures spanning levels 1 to 15, 25 adventures or more. We're going to have monsters in there, over 100 new monsters, puzzles, traps, NPCs, villains, standalone encounters, adventure ideas. We have some spells in there, some subclasses, lots of cool Dungeon Master resources you can use in your games. There's a link right there. Go check it out. It's really cool. It's my Kickstarter. I kind of have to say that, but I don't sell garbage. I believe in the things that my team and I make, and I think that you're going to like it. So there you go. I'll do some more questions now. Thank you. Uh-oh, are people using bad language? Ooh, Penguin Butt gets excited with bad language because she likes to swing her wrench. Penguin Butt, I'm going to buy you a big, huge plumbing wrench. Do you have... I'm going to bring this to LairCon. Oh, we're doing LairCon again this year, guys. It's in Florida. It's in Pensacola, Florida. I think it's October 7, 8, and 9, I believe. I'm planning on getting more information out on my website about it in May. More information coming in May. But it's going to be amazing. But yeah, Penguin Butt, I'm going to get you a wrench. A big, huge wrench. It's going to weigh like as much as you do. All right. If a monster has a crap load of hit point and the battle seems slow, would you consider lowering its hit point at that moment? I might, yeah. I will sometimes do that sort of adjustment for pacing reasons. Not because I'm trying to allow the players to survive, but if I can feel that a battle is dragging on and is just kind of going really slow, and I can see that folks might not be super interested in it, I've been known to reduce hit points just to get it over with, you know, because sometimes you can feel that it's just dragging and it's no longer maybe very fun. So I'll do that. Sure. Get it over with. You know, not every battle is going to be like super amazing and awesome and you just want it to go on forever. And when you run into the duds, sure, let's get it over with and move on to something more interesting, because sometimes it happens. You just got somebody who's like a big sack of hit points with a bunch of armor class and they're just like hitting it. Some monsters are horribly designed. They do like no damage, but it takes forever to kill them. And so there's no real threat to the players. It's like it's in the bag, but they got to sit there and just kind of pink away at it until it's finally dead, you know, and that's not necessarily enjoyable. So I'll do that from time to time. Stormy Chang. My moderators say that you have a great question, so let's read your question. I love my moderators. I love the Barovia Shadowfell settings and Strahd stuff, but was told because I've only run one game, it's beyond me or above my pay grade. Whoever told you that's an idiot. Is this true? Is Strahd for advanced DMs only? Screw that crap. Run what you want to run.
It's too good for you. It's too good for you. You're not a seasoned enough dungeon master to run that campaign setting. Straw is for advanced dungeon masters.
Oh, good gravy. I'm actually pretty congested right now, so I can actually do the snobby little I am better than thou voice pretty well. That's horse crap, dude. If you want to run a game, run a game. You like Shadowfell? You like Ravenloft? Do it! And don't invite the players who told you it was above your pay grade. Let them go play at somebody else's game table. You find people who want to play in that game with you, go run that game. Have fun with them. Now, is it gonna be a perfect game? No, they never are. Are there things that one might say are challenging about running Curse of Strahd? Maybe. Who freaking cares? Run the game that you are passionate about running and that you want to run. And forget about the people who tell you you can't do it. I love people who tell me I can't do stuff because it pisses me off and gives me fire to do that thing. You know, when my channel was small and stuff, and I'm just trying to like keep my head above water and like build a channel, lots of people were like, you know, if you'd be more like this person, you'd be more successful, you know, blah 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 blah. It's like, screw you, dude. All right, I'm doubling down. I'm gonna prove you wrong. You tell me I can't do something? Screw that crap. And now I'm about to go full time. I want to find some of those people. I want to find some of those people and like rub their noses in it. I mean, it wouldn't be professional to do that, but I want to. So let that stuff get under your skin. Let it fire you up and do the thing that you want to do and show them that they're wrong. Not because they're in your game, but because you run it for other people who have tons of fun and then they hear about it. And then they eat their words, dude. Shy Horizon says spite. Spite fuels the world. Spite can drive you to be successful and to do things and accomplish things. Like we have these emotions. We're emotional beings, right? And sometimes there are these negative emotions, but you can put them to work for you. You could have negative, what we will say are negative emotions, and you could put them to really good work and get a lot of mileage out of them. And they can help you succeed. Now, we might not want to publicly display these negative emotions because it will give people a poor impression of us, you know, but we can use them to our benefit, you know. Spite, like I have Goliath Cleric. Yeah, he's actually, he said something in the chat. Goliath Cleric, his name is Zack. They told me once, they've told me before, that they've been told in their lives that they're not good writers and they shouldn't do any writing and stuff. And now he's one of our lead writers and he produces a good portion of the content we publish and does an amazing job at it. And yet somebody told him once that they shouldn't write, that they're not a good writer. And now look, you know, if you get Lair magazine, if you back Layers and Legends and you get these books and stuff, you're gonna see his name in there a lot. Because they write good stuff. They write good stuff. So spite can cause you to succeed, just to show people wrong. And it feels good. It feels good when you have people that say you can't do it and then you accomplish it anyway. Now maybe you don't. It's not cool to rub it in their face at that point, but you at least know. Guess what? You're wrong, buddy. And I did that thing. Yeah. Okay. All right, I see super chats that I've been ignoring. I should answer them. I'm irresponsible. Some people are probably really mad at me. It's like, Luke, I gave you money. I know, I'm sorry. Firebird for life, thank you for the $5 super chat. I just want to say thanks for your videos. In May, you are very welcome. In May, I'll be DMing for the first time in 20 years. Oh, cool, dude. So you were like an OG, dude, and took a break. Nice. Your videos have helped me prepare. Any last minute tips? Have fun, enjoy yourself, relax. It's all good. Player expectations aren't as high as you think they are. We as dungeon masters put much larger expectations on ourselves for our own performance than we need to. And your players probably just want to get together and play the game because nobody else will run it for them. And even if you run a horrible game, they will probably still have fun and deeply appreciate the fact that you did it for them. So just relax and have fun. Tad Olson, thank you for the $5 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. Suggestions to balance a monster with multiple level 7, 9 spells and slots versus the amount of attacks they can make in a single turn. High level 4-person party. Woo! Tad just rolls in with one of the most complex, difficult questions that you could probably ask anyone for game design. I'm not gonna break it all down for you because even if I tried, we would do a bunch of math and we'd talk about it a whole lot, and our ultimate conclusion would be maybe, maybe not. At high levels, everything is swingy. I have had parties take out CR 25 creatures at level 10 before. I have had parties at level 12 almost TPK to one level 9, I think it was a Glabrazoo, and they almost TPK'd. And I'm like, you guys are like level 20, you're like, and it's, how do you almost die? So the higher levels you get, the swingier it gets. My advice to you, it sounds like you're homebrewing a monster. I would compare that monster to other monsters that exist to try to balance all of your abilities, your attacks, and your spells, and just do the best you can, and just recognize that it is not a science, it is an art at higher levels, and you might come in soft and you might come in heavy. Do your best and learn from it. I think that's probably the best generic advice I can give you without digging into math and stuff that is ultimately going to probably be more confusing than it is helpful, and probably won't even matter because at high levels things just don't work very well, dude. The whole game, there's a reason that Wizards doesn't publish modules above level 15 usually. Level 12 or level 15 is where their modules usually stop. They don't dare go into the higher levels. They've done it like once, I think, with Dungeon of the Mad Mage, but they usually don't. And there's a reason they don't. Well, there are two reasons actually. One reason is that most groups fizzle out and die at lower levels, and they know that if they publish lots of higher level stuff, nobody will buy it because nobody ever gets there. The second reason that they don't publish higher level stuff is the game is really hard to balance at higher levels. If you know who your players are and what their characters are, that gives you a fighting chance to balance your game. But if you're developing a module and you have no idea who the players are, their experience levels, and the characters they created, then good luck creating that module and balancing things. It's not easy. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. So I think there are a couple of reasons they don't publish higher level stuff. I really got to go to the bathroom. I've drank a lot of tea. I've drunk a lot of tea. Let's be proper, shall we? Oh. What aspect of DMing was the starting point when you thought, I like doing that? I have no idea. This is probably back when I was in high school and just started DMing, right? Like what was like, I like doing that? I have no clue. I have no clue. I just liked playing the game. I just thought it was cool. I have no idea. I have no answers for you. What do you think about the Unearthed Arcana of the Three Pillars Experience Award? I don't know. I haven't read that. Sorry. Which of your Kickstarter books has the Witcher class or subclass? None of them, because that's copyrighted by the company that made the Witcher. And if you were to publish something that said Witcher, you could get sued, and that would not be good. So none of it. We erroneously published that in one of our issues of Lair magazine, and literally the day it came out, one of my moderators, I think it might have been Zack or Ed, I can't remember who it was, they were like, Luke, do you realize, well, first of all, we were doing a collaboration with somebody else who published the Witcher subclass, and we included it in our magazine as part of that collaboration. We didn't even write it. And then after we published it, somebody was like, one of my mods was like, Luke, dude, that's not that's not SRD, that's a copyright problem. And I was like, you're right, shoot. And so literally the day it was published, I went into the PDF in InDesign and I took it out and we republished it and got rid of it because we realized that that was not very good. So no, you will not see that anywhere, nowhere. There are probably some people that still have that original PDF who were quick to get it. But we have corrected that because that was a big, huge, that slipped through the cracks. And we had to correct that. That's not good. We try to follow the law around here. Lots of people don't. And they get away with it. But I don't want to be sued. And Andrew says, what is the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything? Gratitude and thankfulness. We're alive, and it could be worse. We are breathing. We are here. Most of us are not starving. Most of us have clothes on our backs. We have a place to sleep at night. We might have friends. We probably have people that care about us. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's better than a lot of people in the world. Even if we don't have money and we have to scrape by, we have to go maybe to a job we don't like every day. You know, it can always be worse. It can always be worse. So I think it's gratitude. I think it's thankfulness. And I think it's appreciating what you have and appreciating the people around you, appreciating your wife, your kids, your friends, you know. And if you think about that and dwell on that, you know, you can get in a pretty good mind frame and feel pretty good regardless of your circumstances and the crap you might be going through, because it can always be worse. It can always be worse. Always. So be thankful for what you have and be grateful. And it's good. It's good. That's the answer. that's a sliver of the answer to life. The stream usually goes for about another hour. I gotta go to the bathroom really, really bad. Oh, what is this? No! Event Horizon has a food question. Haluxi or pasties? I have family coming over and they love both. You're the tiebreaker. Okay, well, I know what pasties are. We're going to look at haluski. I don't know what those are. Hold on a second. Haluski. Let's see what these are. Oh, it looks like a pasta. Well, that lost. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Is it a pasta or something? Okay, well, hold on. Hold on. All right. So, oh, wow. Haluski, a hearty one-pot meal. Oh my gosh, that looks really good. So it's made what? The sausage and cabbage in there and stuff? Oh my gosh, that looks really good. Is this an Irish dish? What's the origin of this? It says noodles. Oh, so it is a pasta dish. And it's got pasta and cabbage and different stuff in it. Haluski doesn't sound Irish though. It had cabbage in it, so I don't know. I think that was like an Irish feature, but I might be wrong. I mean, that looks really good. That looks really good, but I'm not a noodle fan. Noodles are usually just like worthless carbohydrates that don't help your body at all. Where's pasties? Okay, so this is the problem. You got to be careful because I type in pasties and I get inappropriate things. So you have to be careful. Okay, so this is a pasty. This is, oh my gosh, this is good too. Look at this. Look, you guys, look at this. Oh my, oh! Look, this looks like it was made at like a factory or something. That doesn't look very good. This looks amazing. That is a homemade pasty right there. This is in a factory somewhere. It's crimped too perfectly and there's shine on it. This is like off from Food Network or some bullcrap. Don't eat this. Don't eat this garbage. This is what you want to eat right here. That's a homemade pasty. That's a homemade pasty. See how they got this like brown stuff around the edges here? This is what pasties do when they're real. This is not a real pasty. This is a horse crap Food Network crap. Don't eat that. This is a real pasty. It's got some good crimping, but you can tell it's real. I think I already looked at that one. Oh, this looks nice. This is a real pasty. Yeah. Doesn't have enough. No, goodbye. This doesn't have enough filling in it. You don't want that one. This is unsatisfactory as well. Don't eat that one. These look nice. Oh yeah, that looks good. It's pretty good. It's hard to. There's too much shine and the lighting is too good. That looks like a Food Network bullcrap. Oh yeah, the Great British Bake Off. Yeah, this is bullcrap. Don't eat those. That looks really weird. That wasn't properly done. This is a big pasty. I approve of this one. That's a monstrous one. Yeah. Oh, those look nice. I would eat those. Yeah. Okay. So what do you guys think? Based upon all of that, is it the haluski or the pasties? Which one do we think won? Kyle says, well, this has persuaded me to go to my fridge. Be right back. Do you guys know I forgot to have dinner tonight? I forgot to have dinner. I got home. I just got done carpet cleaning my entire basement, like with a carpet cleaner that has liquid and cleaning solution. And so I got home from my day job and I had to had to put everything back where it belongs, basically, before the stream. And I forgot to have dinner. That's a problem for everybody. Anyway, the answer is pasties, dude. Make pasties and send me one. No. Send me a dozen of them if you'd be so kind. Penguin Butt will help you with the shipping address. Penguin Butt may demand a tithe of 1 to a dozen pasties herself. So why don't you just make 3 dozen pasties? 1 dozen is for Penguin Butt, 1 dozen is for me. The other dozen can be used at your discretion. But if your family doesn't eat all of them, then all leftovers should be sent to us for business purposes. Thank you. Okay, I gotta go to the bathroom. I see some super chats. I will get to you in a moment. Please be patient. All right. I have a cat in the box right now. We are going to do a cat strike, which is where I give my cats catnip And Squeaky right here is going to roll around like a maniac, and it's going to be wonderful. Before that, though, I'm going to slip in a sleazy plug for our Kickstarter, Layers and Legends, that is going on right now. Link in the chat. Got about a week and a half left for you to get in on the action, support the project, and help unlock more stretch goals and get more content. You will get 2 massive hardcover books full of Dungeon Master resources, 5th edition compatible adventures, monsters, traps, puzzles, adventure ideas, NPCs, villains, whole bunches of stuff that should help you improve your games, reduce your prep time, and be very, very happy. And we are giving 12 packs of bacon to every backer. That's totally true. It is going to be delicious. I'm going to, as I get the catnip supplies around, I'm going to play you a little sleazy video for your viewing pleasure, and I will be back in a moment with catnip.
This content is brought to you by the Layers and Legends Kickstarter, coming in early 2022. Are you a dungeon master looking to reduce your prep time but still run awesome games for your players? Would you like professional pre-made 5th edition adventures, maps, traps, puzzles, magic items, and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? The Layers and Legends Kickstarter will create 2 gorgeous hardcover books for dungeon masters containing all of this and more. The first book, Layers and Legends, will deliver 25 5th edition compatible adventures spanning levels 1 to 15 and over 100 new terrifying monsters to pit against your players. The second book, Loot and Lore, will deliver 50 magic items, 25 puzzles, 40 traps, 10 factions, 30 standalone encounters with maps, 30 villains, 30 NPCs, 70 random tables, 30 adventure ideas, 20 spells, and 4 subclasses. And through the beauty of Kickstarter and stretch goals, we'll be able to commission beautiful artwork for both books and add even more content. Furthermore, in addition to the hardcovers, you can also get both books in PDF format and a digital map pack containing all the maps from both books. And if you'd like to pick up a hardcover copy of our last Kickstarter, Into the Fae, it will be available as an add-on to Layers and Legends. Click the link below to join the Layers and Legends email list and get notified when it goes live.
Okay. I have here assembled the banana. This is a new banana, by the way. I could not find the old banana. It is gone. And remember the happy carrot? Who remembers the happy carrot? One of my cats did unspeakable things to the happy carrot, and the happy carrot was no longer happy and had to be thrown away. And so we now have a pickle. We have a dill pickle. I'm kind of a big dill. This is our new cat toy. And when Danny decides to come to a stream, we have another cat toy that we are going to have a special reveal of once Danny comes to a stream. And oh yeah, we're going to put cat crack on these. It's called catnip, folks. Somebody's reporting me to YouTube. He's talking about drug use. No, I'm not. It's catnip. Calm down. That's all I need. All right, Squeaky, what is your deal?
Just a catnip.
Whoops. Don't look at that. That's private. That's the secret. That's the secret spreadsheet. You can't see that. All right. Here we go, buddy. I'm a big boy. We got another one. And they're gonna do some crazy stuff, and I'm going to the bathroom. I will be right back. I need to drink less tea. I drank too much tea. That's a problem. So he took both of them. He took both of them. I had 2 cats. I give them 2 cat toys, and Squeaky is hogging both of them. What a butthead. Yes, Ambers, Squeaky claimed both of them. I'm taking this one. Mine. That's right. He'll be back. Oh. All right. Let's get back on the horse. Joseph, thank you for the $20, dude. They say, I will overthrow Heather Burke from up top and rise to take their place in a moment of glory, where all mine enemies shall fall before my unlimited power. Congratulations, Joseph. You now have your name right there. Now, I just want to point out, now, Joseph, I appreciate all the support you've been showing. I love the fact that you're throwing money because my cats are going to eat well this next week. And my wife is going to be like, take me out to a restaurant. So I appreciate all of that. But I do want to point out, for anybody who feel that they would like to have their name right up here, he has 4,000 hit points and $40 will smite him. And it will take him from his pedestal of glory and throw him down into the depths of despair, removing his name from the screen. Does anybody have the valor in the pockets to do this to our dear and wonderful Joseph? We shall see. We are doing a giveaway too, a D&D book giveaway. I forget to talk about the giveaway, but we always have a giveaway going on, and you should sign up for it. You get a free D&D book if you win. Beautiful. Link in the chat. You can do all that for $20. It's actually $40 right now. But yes, you can do that. Oh, is Simpaticos here? Oh, look at that. Hello, Trevor. Do you guys still play that one game? What is that one game, Penguin Butt, that you and Trevor and others would play? That one where you, like, there's a murderer on board and you gotta find him. What is that called? Yes, Jack, you can smite them for $40 and get your name up there. I can't even say your name. 6113 says, ask me when I get a job. I will be unstoppable afterwards with a $500 donation. Thanks, dude. I would appreciate that. But you make sure you got your finances all straight in order. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want you to be, you know, missing rent or something. Among Us. Yes, that's the one. Yeah. Wookie Pirate says, will there be a hidden scratch and sniff bacon page hidden as an Easter egg in the new Kickstarter books? My dear friend Wookie Pirate, I don't think you understand the sheer genius with which we have designed this Kickstarter. We're not putting scratch and sniff pages in the Kickstarter. We are carving out little compartments in the back of the book. And every single book is going to ship with a package of fresh bacon inside the back of the book. Wizards of the Coast thinks they're so clever putting maps fold out maps in the back of their books. We're not putting fold out maps in our books. We're putting packages of bacon in the back of our books. Your book will smell like bacon for a guaranteed minimum of 5 years or your money back. That is why I am so excited to share this Kickstarter with you. You're going to love it. And there is a high probability as well that during shipping from point A to your house, that the weather conditions will be such that the bacon will be fully cooked upon arrival. Imagine opening your Kickstarter box to get 2 beautiful hardcover books and the aroma of freshly cooked bacon at the same time. You cannot beat that. Which is why I encourage you now to back our Layers and Legends Kickstarter at the link below. What are you doing? Squirty Pie's rolling around. It's fun just screwing around and talking crap. All right. Jaspers, thank you for the $10 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. Do you think Descent into Avernus is new Dungeon Master friendly? Because I got overwhelmed by the sheer volume of Baldur's Gate. Every district had lore and different factions. It was an awful lot to handle. I honestly don't know, because I have Descent into Avernus. I was a player in the game for a tiny bit. We got through like 1 chapter, I think, maybe. And so I don't have a Dungeon Master perspective on that module. The thing with Baldur's Gate, and it being any city, and it being big or detailed and stuff, is just because the city is big and detailed doesn't mean that you need to include all elements of that city in your game. We run in Waterdeep all of the time, and I don't have every tiny detail about Waterdeep memorized or even have notes that I can refer to. The details of the city don't come up a whole ton, but if there's a game session where I know it's going to, then I just brush up on it or something. So I don't know if Descent into Avernus is new Dungeon Master friendly. I would say that if you're excited about it and you like the idea of it, that you could still run it. And if it's overwhelming, you just don't use all of that detail. You just cut it out and just focus on the high level stuff. So, but I don't know the real answer to that. Okay, we have had some tips going on too. I want to thank those folks as well. Matthew Chamberlain, thank you so much for the $10 tip, dude. Right now, all tips are going to One More Child. They are a charity that we are supporting right now. Our goal is to raise $500 for One More Child, and we are right there. So we're about almost 2/3, a little over half of the way to our goal of $500 for One More Child. They help trafficking victims. They help foster families. They do a lot of things for families and people in need. So if you'd like to support them and help get to our $500 goal, all tips, 100% of them go toward One More Child. There's a link in the chat where you can tip if you feel so inclined. Ambers, I see your $30 tip to One More Child, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And Ambers now has her name right there. Boom. Look at that. You just killed Joseph. Joseph now hates me. Joseph is like, Luke, I'm supporting your channel. I'm giving you money, and you're encouraging people to take my name off the screen. I do not approve. I love you, Joseph. What is this, the little thing they do? Look at this chunk. You having fun down there? Are you having fun? He's like, leave me alone with my pickle. My pickle and I are having a very important moment right now. I'm about to bite it in half. How do you feel about Dungeon of the Mad Mage? I have ran one level of it before, and I've read I've ran 2 levels of it before, and I've read other pieces of it, and I liked it. I thought that there was a really good variety of encounters on the different levels. There are different factions on the different levels. There's some story there. There's some actual stuff going on there that I thought was very interesting. Many people will say that it's just a big dungeon crawl, old school. No, it's not. There is some really good stuff going on in Dungeons of the Mad Mage. I think that it probably doesn't get the credit that it deserves because it's actually really well. The individual levels are well designed, and there's some thought and story and some really good stuff going on in those different levels. It does suffer from a problem of motivation in so much that there's not a whole lot of reason to go down there and do anything. So the dungeon master is kind of left figuring that out, which I don't have a problem with. That's really easy for me to motivate my players and to figure out reasons and machinations and that's not a problem to me. So I didn't mind that, but it is something that is the thing that Dungeons of the Mad Mage is lacking. A compelling reason for people to even go into the dungeon. But that could be solved. You could fix that pretty easily. So I think it's really good, really good. I like it. Oh man. I feel like I have a brick in my nose. Giddy up. Wonderful Marv. Wonderful Marv just tipped $150 to One More Child. Oh, dog. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much. That's going to One More Child. They help trafficking victims. They help foster families. They help a lot of people in need. So I really appreciate that, dude. I learned about One More Child because there was a sheriff in Florida talking about a sting operation they did that captured people who were like trying to basically child molest and trafficking stuff, and they got a whole bunch of bad people in prison and crap. And One More Child, people were there to help the victims of that and stuff. And so that's why we're trying to raise money for them, because they're doing some really good stuff. So thank you, Wonderful Marv. I appreciate that. We're almost to our goal. We have, it looks like $45 to go, and then we're gonna hit our goal for One More Child. That's awesome. Dang. And they got their name up there too. That's great. Look at that. I'm not going to encourage people to like take your name off for a little bit out of respect and thankfulness to your donation. But I will eventually. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Mommy was she was like bunny kicking it with her back legs, like she was tamping on it. Oh, now she's eating some cat food off the floor. All right. Oh! Shy Horizon. Did you? Oh, you didn't send enough. Shy Horizon just sent $45 super chat to get their name up there, but they were $5 short. The next person who puts $5 in is gonna get their name up there, and you're gonna snipe the Shy Horizon. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Wow. But thank you, Shy, for the $45 super chat. I appreciate that. I feel bad though. Yeah, don't super chat it. If it's for the charity, you got to do the tips. YouTube will take. There's a reason that super chats don't go toward the charity. The charity is for tips. The reason is that YouTube will literally take 40% of what you just sent me. They literally take 40% of that. Whereas if you tip it, YouTube doesn't get a cut. Stream Elements gets like 5%, which I just make up for on my end. You know what? This is very interesting. I don't know if you guys know this, but charity donations, like there's only a small amount of charity donations that are tax deductible. I was doing my taxes recently, and my tax person was telling me through the stream and our donations and stuff, we've donated like, I don't know, several $1,000s to charities last year. And my tax person was telling me that I have to pay taxes on all of those donations. So all of the money that we raise for charities, I give 100% of it to the charities, but then I still have to pay 40% taxes on everything. And so I'm actually making up half of our donations myself. So obviously what you donate goes toward the charities and stuff, because what I get taxed on, because that's what our government does. They take 40% of taxes of stuff that I give to charities, which I think is absolutely ridiculously stupid. But that's what my tax person said. So I think I can only deduct about $600. I can only deduct $600 of what I give charitable donations. Ridiculous. But anyway, I make up for all of that. I take care of that. I make sure that the charities get the money that we are trying to give them, even though the government is taking bull crap. Anyway, I don't know. That was a tangent. Oh. Yeah, it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I think my tax person said that was going away next year, though. I'm pretty sure that they told me when they were doing the review that you can only donate up to $600 or something, and the rest of it you get taxed on. But they told me that next year or something that was going away, and that it wouldn't be that way anymore. Kind of makes you, I mean, I want to donate and help people, you know, but when the government's going to tax you on it too, it's like, dude, come on, man. Like, come on. You know you're just going to spend it on bull crap. All right. Oh, dang. Dungeons and Drams, thank you for the $5 super chat. You totally just smoked Shy Horizon. Well, I appreciate the super chat, Dungeons and Drams. Shy, if it makes you feel any better, your maps are amazing and we love you, all right? So don't feel bad. You know. Penguin Butt says we're not promoting criminal actions. Oh, what was the criminal action? Not paying my taxes? No, I don't do that. I pay my taxes. I might be very salty about it. I might think that it is bullcrap that I pay 40% of my earnings in taxes. I might think that's complete bullcrap. I might disagree vehemently with it and think that it's horse crap that I have to give the government 40% of my profit. I might think that's horrible, and might be really, really upset about that, but I'm not gonna try to not pay. That's ridiculous. That's stupid. That's playing with fire. So yeah, I pay my taxes. I just don't like it. You can do things that you don't like. Shy says it's a pity plug. No, it was not a pity plug. What I told you was genuine. The laws on charitable donations are complex. There are many ways to donate more than $600 without paying taxes on anything. Yeah, it's possible. I might be doing it wrong. All right, we got that. Dungeons and Drams had another super chat too. Thank you for the $5. Segue for your book. How do you organically introduce your adventures as a side quest so it doesn't seem forced? I mean, I don't know how that's a segue, but I would love to somehow segue into it, but I don't really care whether something feels forced or not. I mean, we're playing a game. We all know when a side quest has been introduced. If you watch my Curse of Strahd games, we laugh every time a new side quest gets introduced. Like, we know a side quest is being introduced. We recognize a plot hook when we see it. We know it when it's happening. You're not fooling your players. They see it coming. There's no clever, cool way. I mean, there might be a clever, cool way to introduce a side quest and have it be like organic and seamless and amazing. But if it exists, trying to achieve that is way more work than it's worth. Like, we all know we're playing a game. We're not going to forget that fact. And trying to figure out cool, clever ways to introduce a side quest that, like, oh my gosh, we just got a side quest and we didn't even notice it was, wow, my, no. In fact, I would argue that you want them to notice when they were introduced to plot hook or a side quest or a main quest or anything. The worst thing in the world for a dungeon master is to introduce a quest but not have your players realize that you just gave them a plot hook. And then you're like, crap. They didn't even think about doing that thing. They didn't even think about it. They just went on and did whatever. They never thought about it. And then you're sitting there and you don't want that. You want them to know that you just gave them a side quest. You want them to know. So I don't think, I don't worry about how I introduce my quests, whether it feels organic or whether it feels forced. Like, it's not important enough to worry about it. It's just not. You got lots of other stuff that will actually make your game amazing. Focus on those things. Don't focus on whether introducing a quest feels forced or not. Nah, doesn't matter. Don't spend your time and your concern and your attention on the parts of the game that are going to make your game a whole lot better and make people really enjoy it more. Those are the things you want to focus your time on, your thoughts and your worries. Things like that and stuff, it's like, it's not that important. All right, I see money. Okay. Wonderful Marv, thank you so much for the $75 tip. They're like, here's a bunch of money. All of that is going toward One More Child, our charity organization. So I really appreciate your generosity, dude. I'm exhausted right now, and my voice and my all congested and stuff. So it might not seem like I am genuine in my thankfulness and gratitude, but I am. I'm just tired and sick. And shy just got sniped again. Shy, thank you for your $45 tip to One More Child. I appreciate that, and so will the kids. You almost got your name up there, and then Let's Do Joogie Boy apparently has a cruel, heartless streak in them because they tipped $5 and sniped you and got their name up there. And Let's Do Joogie Boy, thank you for your $5 tip. I appreciate that. Shy perhaps doesn't. They're like, take my money, I don't care about the name, it's okay. Oh, Quasums is here. Quasums, hello. Is there a dono fight going on? Kind of, yeah. Gary, thank you, Gary. I appreciate that. It says, hope you feel better soon, Luke. To victory. V for victory. Yeah, look at that. Quasms, they're excited. Like, without Quasms, Luke wouldn't have any videos. Without Quasms, Quasms is Zack, my editor for my videos. Yeah, without Zack, Luke would work a lot more than he already does, and he would be less happy. Oh, here we go. I get one of these questions every stream. I dungeon master for a group of 3. I recently gave a stupid amount of magic items to my players. How can I adjust? More hit points drags out combat. Harder hits just kills them faster. Any suggestions? There are idiots out there that tell you to give out crap tons of magic items, because you never know how long the game's gonna last. And they're cool magic items and you should give them to your players. They tell people this, and people watch their videos and all their other advice and stuff, you know, and then they like, oh, okay, cool. Well, that person says to give tons of magic items out, so I'm gonna give tons of magic items out to my players. And then they realize that that's a problem, and that all of this theory talk doesn't actually work in real life at the actual game. Now, it might for an experienced dungeon master who knows how to adjust things, but it doesn't work very well for newer dungeon masters. And then they follow this advice and they give out tons of magic items, and then they realize that that's a problem and that things aren't working very well anymore, and now everything in the module is way too easy and I don't know what to do. And then they end up here, my chat, asking me, because I give actual practical advice that you can use, that isn't all just theory and head talk. It doesn't wax and wane poetic, but it's actual real stuff that might work for you. And so they want me to fix that. And I get that question almost every live stream. So there are 2 approaches. There are 3 approaches. First of all, gather up your forges and pitchforks against those people who give you that crap advice and cause you to send your whole game spiraling down into a hole. You know, and then, you know, march on them, I suppose, and burn their stuff down for screwing you over with their crappy advice. But failing that, because that would probably be illegal and you shouldn't do that, you got 2 real options at this point. Number 1, eat crow. Take your hat, crumple it up against your chest, walk meekly before your players, and beg for mercy. Confess to them that you screwed up, that you gave them way too many magic items because somebody told you to do it, and now you realize that was a bad idea. And there are probably reasons that the game doesn't recommend it. The designers of 5th edition have straight up told us that the game was designed to be used with very few magic items to begin with, and that if you don't give your players any magic items, they will be okay. It literally says that in Xanathar's Guide to Everything in the magic items section. There's a sidebar on it. Why it wasn't published in the Dungeon Master Guide with the original publishing, why it wasn't published there, who knows? But at least they said it somewhere. So go to your players, hat in hand, and just tell them you screwed up, you gave them too many magic items, and it's messing things up. Could we please figure out a solution? Is it possible for us to maybe get rid of some of the magic items? Maybe you could sell them. Maybe I could interest you with a title or a property, an inn of your own that you can make revenue from. Perhaps I can give you a donkey or a cart maybe we could do something to make my life a little easier. And then you negotiate and you hope that you can work with your players to come up with a solution that is amenable to everybody. Option number 2, suck it up and deal with it. Adjust your adventures, adjust the encounters, adjust things. And now you've said, you know, more hit points drags out combat. They hit harder, they just die faster. Yeah, it's rough. But those statements may or may not be true regardless of the magic item situation, you know. But you gotta just try to fix things on your end as much as possible. The thing that I can tell you though that might make you feel better is that it gets better. As the game progresses, as you get out of the lower levels and you get into the mid levels, the impact of magic items on the game will be diminished. What happens in 5th edition is as the characters get into higher levels, they get their own cool abilities, especially spellcasters. They get their own cool things that they can do that take actions. And the magic items are nice, but they now have choices. I can cast my spell, which is really cool, or I can use the magic item. And a lot of times I have found that my players will have a heavy preference toward using their own abilities because maybe they're more powerful, or maybe they're just more interesting because they just got it. So I feel like if you stop giving out crazy tons of magic items and you just like wait a little bit, the problem will sort itself out as they gain levels, and then it won't be such a big impact. So maybe you suck it up for now and just ride it out, knowing that eventually it'll get better and it won't impact things quite as much. And then obviously you give out fewer magic items over the course of the game. So there's a couple thoughts for you. Joan Dudley, hello. Ian says, to clarify, I'm not running a module, so everything is fluid. Well, that makes it easier for you. I genuinely want to see how my players will use said items out of combat, so I don't want to take them. Yeah, don't take them away then. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, just roll with it, you know? Let them use the things and then react and then figure out if you need to adjust things or not. And if they're out of combat uses, then maybe it doesn't affect anything at all. You know? So I don't know. The thing is, it's like, the thing is that depending on the magic items and their uses and stuff, like some magic items are very powerful and you wouldn't think it. The immovable rod is way more powerful than you think, and it's only uncommon, I believe. There's a flask, there's an ever smoking bottle, I believe it's called. That is way more powerful than you think. And the uses for that are immense, and that comes in handy so much you would have no idea. So some of these uncommon magic items are pretty darn powerful and useful. And if your players are creative enough, or just watch videos or read Reddit posts enough, then they can get that information and use them in ways that make them very powerful, more than you might believe. Ugh. All right. Ed Robinson. Hello, Ed. You know, I want to tell you, Ed, that earlier in the stream, little guy was driving me insane. He kept on meowing. And there was a standing offer on the table for you to take him off my hands. However, little guy is now being quiet and behaved, and I have retracted that offer. And I want you to know that if you had been here, you would have had a cute little kitty. And now you don't. You have Fig Newtons? Nice. By the way, folks, if you have not backed our Kickstarter Layers and Legends, you should. It's really cool. There's a link in the chat right there. 2 beautiful, big, fat books full of Dungeon Master resources. Yeah. Adventures, monsters, magic items, puzzles, traps, lots of cool stuff in there. You should check it out. It's really wonderful. You'll trade me Fig Newtons for little guy? Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm gonna go. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna be back. I'll be back in a second. I'm gonna go consult with my wife momentarily. I'll let you know. I'll let you know what she says. Okay. Okay, so this is what the wife said. Ed, I took your proposal to my wife, and she told me, well, she laughed at the proposal. And she said that if you send us the cookies, we will let you look at little guy on the live stream. That is her offer. So I apologize. That's probably not what you wanted to hear. All right. We are doing a giveaway tonight, a D&D book giveaway. There's a link in the chat. Go sign up for it. We are going to be drawing the winner momentarily, in probably about 5 or so minutes. So go sign up for it. Does that mean I get a 24-hour little guy cam? Yes, that's what that means. Send me the cookies and I will hook you up. Gary Muggington says, where did you find those actors for your latest video? They were funny. That's the peak D&D people, dude. Like at the end of in the link in that video, you can go over to Peak D&D's channel. And those 4 dudes run that channel. They were at Lair and stuff. They're my buddies and stuff. And we're now doing these skit videos, these sketches together and stuff. And yes, they're friggin' hilarious. So go check their channel out. It's a link in the video. One of my mods can probably throw it in here too. Cookies are on their way. Ed, I don't believe you. No, I don't believe you. Goliath Cleric says, I've heard worse offers. I think you should take it, Ed. I'll handle the shipping of the Fig Newtons to Luke for you. So the Amber says the cost of a 24/7 cat cam is just a box of Fig Newtons. Yeah. No, is that not enough? Adrian, thank you, dude. It's been a pleasure creating Tamarond, King of Justice, while hearing your stream as a podcast. Keep up the amazing work. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Orion says, answer my question, please, Luke. Oh, no crap. I don't know. Where's your question, dude? I don't. Oh, there we go. How much DM work would it take to string the adventures in the Kickstarter together to make a complete campaign? In my opinion, I don't think it would be hard. What you're going to have happen, though, is a campaign usually has a theme that unites it, you know, and then the different adventures you go on in a campaign relate back to that theme. It could be a bad guy, you know, a big bad trying to do a thing. And so what you would run into, the thing that you would need to string all of the different standalone adventures into a campaign together, the thing you need is that theme. You need that uniting thing that pulls them all together, that makes all of these disparate adventures related to each other somehow. And that's what you need. And figuring that out and figuring out how to do that and implement it so that they feel like a campaign, that is going to be up to your creativity and ingenuity to figure out how you pull that off. I don't have an answer for you. Can it be done? Yes. Is it going to feel perfectly organic? It depends on how much tweaking you do. It depends on how much changing you do. You could pull it off and make it feel organic and feel completely united. But it would take a little bit of work and thought on your part to figure that out. You know, the framework and the meat of the adventures is all there, but you're going to have to tweak some things to make it all come together in that theme. So there would be some work there. Would it be a lot of work? Well, I mean, the adventures are already designed. That takes away a massive amount of your work to begin with, right? And now you just got to figure out how to pull them all together and stuff. So is there work? Yes. Is it an overwhelming amount of work? Probably not. But that's going to depend also on your level of experience as Dungeon Master. Some people are going to have a lot easier time with that than others. You're welcome, Orion. If you're running an Acquisitions Incorporated sort of game, then it's really easy to do that because you're running Ac Inc. How would you approach building a dungeon or adventuring day for a 2-player party with 2 sidekicks? According to Tasha's, where sidekicks are introduced, I'm pretty sure that it says that a sidekick should be considered a full party member. For purposes of calculating encounters, I'm pretty sure a sidekick should be considered a full party member. So if you have 2 players and 2 sidekicks, you design your encounters for 4 players. If that seems like too much, you might design it. You might count the sidekicks as like 2 levels lower when you design your encounters. And there are math calculators online that can help you do that. Oh man, I'm wiped out. Prippy Monty Poppycock, thank you for the $10 tip, dude. I appreciate that. That's gonna go to One More Child, the charity that we're raising money for right now. Don't mean to snipe, but it's for a good cause. You didn't snipe though. They have another $40 before their name comes down. They have some hit points remaining. I'm exhausted. How about we do the giveaway? Where did you get the stress dinos? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll show you. Stack Up. Stack Up is a charity that I support as well, and the stress dinos are from Stack Up as well. Stack Up is a military charity. They support veterans and active personnel. They support their mental health through gaming, in essence, and they have various ways they do that. I was actually emailing my contact at Stack Up a week ago or so, and we're going to be doing another drive to raise money for Stack Up. We've done that every year for the last couple of years now, and so we're going to be doing that again this year. Anyway, this is like the swag that I get from them. I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, we raised $5,000 for Stack Up last year, and they sent me a bunch of cool stuff. All right, I'm gonna put this guy back. Oh. Yes, Joseph. Thank you for the $50 super chat, dude. I appreciate that, man. I said I'd have my revenge and claw my way back. Thanks, dude. I really appreciate that, man. He got his name back up there. Look at that. Look at that. And the stream is almost over, so the chances of somebody sniping you are like low. All right, let's do our giveaway, and then we're gonna go to bed. I'm so tired. All right, drawing a winner to our giveaway. Here we go. David Burns, hello. What's going on, dude? Hello from Scotland. Do you know that all my dwarves are from Scotland? All of them. Every time I have a dwarf in a game, the dwarf speaks with a Scottish accent. Well, it's my best interpretation of a Scottish accent. It's probably horrible, I'm sure. All right, let's get going then. I'm horrible. But all my dwarves are from Scotland. I just want you to know. It's a homage. I think that's a rule. I think that's a D&D rule that all dwarves speak with a Scottish accent. Or Irish, I'm not sure. I think it's Scottish. Anyway. It's up late. It's late for you, dude. It's like 3 in the morning or something, man. All right, here we go. The winner. Oh, man. All right, Mark A, you have won. Your YouTube screen name is ArcXJoe. ArcXJoe. Are you here? Also known as Mark A. From Pennsylvania. Dude, you won. Congratulations. I'll be sending you an email to get you hooked up with your loot. Yeah. All right. Hey, Tyrium, what's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? Oh, that's Trevor, right? I'm pretty sure that's Trevor. Good to see you in the stream, buddy. Okay. Tired. I'm leaving now. Thanks for hanging out, folks. If I didn't get to your question, I am very, very sorry. Please contact Penguin Butt. She will answer every question that was not addressed. And she's now probably going to resign from her position with me. So maybe we don't do that. Maybe, yeah, don't email her. She's going to hit me with a wrench. I'm leaving now. I'm digging a hole. Going home. Ending the stream. Thank you, everybody. It's been fun. Thank you for everyone who was so generous with tips to One More Child. and with the super chats. I really appreciate that. My wife is gonna take her cut, but that's okay. All right, I'm leaving. Bye bye.